Hello and welcome to another demonstration. This happens to be my first of the new year. So this one is going to be showing the Ansible Automation Platform doing some CI/CD. So what is CI/CD in a nutshell? It is continuous integration, continuous development deployment. The idea being, say I have a Git repo, a Git repository where I have some web app. I make a save there and then it kicks off the automation. So it will automatically connect to my infrastructure, it will spin up new stuff, it will take care of all the pieces to get it into production. And so this is a quick demonstration of doing that using VMware infrastructure as opposed to cloud resources, which people I guess customarily think of as far as CI/CD goes. So to start out, I'm going to show my GitHub repository. Well, one, all the playbooks and associated files are up publicly available for you to grab and utilize how you see fit. Obviously there's a blog post associated with this. This is going to go in a little bit more detail of what all these things are doing, but it's all predicated on the update of this individual file. So this is my test web page that I have in my Git repo, and so I'm going to make an update to it, and I'm going to add an 8, right? So this is my new version. I will commit that change. So the very first thing that happens is it commits, right? Somebody did a request, it was approved, it was committed. So now this is going to call my infrastructure. So I'm going to pop over to my tower server. I'm going to take a look at my jobs. I should see the workflow kicking off. And so what is a workflow? It is a series of things all linked together. It's a series of job templates all linked together to perform some piece of automation. And so in my workflow, the first thing I do is I connect in and I do app test web deploy. So what does this do? This connects to my VMware server, and this actually spins up a new linked clone of a VM. It's going to be a CentOS 8 box, and then it will go into my tower instance using the URI module, and it will add that to the inventory. So whatever IP address this thing happens to pull, I'm doing it via DHCP. It takes that IP address and it adds it to the inventory. The very next thing it's going to do is it's going to look and see if it was unsuccessful, it'll take the red path. If it was successful, it'll take the green path. So all of these have the exact same action that performs if they are unsuccessful, and that is to destroy this VM that was created and remove its contents from the inventory in Tower. So we see that the first one's completed, so I should be able to pop over to my inventories. And I should be able to go into my app test inventory, look at the hosts, and I've got my app and then the date that is associated with it. So whenever it spins up the new VM, it actually does it via some information that is raised, it's the date code. I mean, it could be a random number, but it's the date code associated with it. My app is the current running application server. So if I take a look at that, I can see it was set to 207. It's going to change ultimately. And the new one is set to 206, right? So different IP addresses. Remember that was 207, was the existing one in the infrastructure, and so it automatically added the new one in there. I'm going to take a look at how far we are along in. So the very next thing it does after it deploys it, it's going to install Nginx and actually update the firewall to add port 80. The next thing it's going to do is the web configuration. So it is going to go out to my Git repository, this one right here. It's going to go to this test HTML Git repository. It's going to do a Git pull and it's going to grab all that stuff and stick it into the web folder. And then it's going to update the configuration file on Nginx to pull it towards this index.html file. And then it's going to restart the service so that it will pick up and start utilizing it. The next thing it's going to do is it's going to perform a test. So it's going to connect to the web server, make sure all the files are there, and then it'll do a test pull on the web page and check the contents and make sure that they're good. After it does that, it's going to connect over to my load balancer. It's going to update the configuration. So it's going to change the IP address from the old application server to the new. And then the very last thing it does is it connects into my VMware server. It will delete the old app server, rename the new one over to just be my app, and then it'll actually pop into the inventory on the Ansible tower and it will update those as well. So if I pop into my inventory, just do a quick refresh on it, I should go to hosts. I can now see that that temporary one is gone and it has removed it. See, it was 207 and now it's 206, the IP of the new server. So should be able to browse to the load balancer 10.1.12.24, and it should pull back test application and then 6.7.8 because 8 was the newest version. So birth to death, you can see how it works. If I was to make another modification to that index.html, it's going to perform the same actions over again. So if you have any questions or comments, please pop them below, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.